it's one guy, he's got 2 holes, and he just comes up and he goes around.
Do they live there, you think?
Well, they want a cottage, and there's reason for him to be there, and they come in the summer.
That's what I have. They come and they kind of vacation for a few
Yeah,
days, then they
yeah.
leave. Yeah.
That's right, and
Yeah.
I had actually a family this summer, and now it's just one guy, and he's big, and he's fishing all the time.
Really?
Okay, I want to call the meeting to order.
Okay,
It's,
I got it.
11 January and 7 o'clock, 04, because of power outage, we have a late start. I do have the opportunity to take notes again, Gail,
I'm getting ready right here.
and I thank you.
I would encourage everyone to speak up.
Okay,
Get new hearing aids.
Listen, I can change them on here. I got it at the maximum remote control 4.
okay, we had,
I can.
I received notification that Rob is going to be in Florida, or he's in flight now for work. Mike and Paul both called. They have personal issues that make them unable to attend. So we are right at quorum for the BAC, and the CIP, I think, is
Yep, we're here.
well attended. So we're going to go ahead with this meeting. Start off with the minutes of the last meeting. I think we all received a copy. Any motions to,
Accept them as they were written.
Second.
and I have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it is unanimous. We accept the minutes as written. All right. We get into the budget. Essentially, what I would like to get through today is to fill in whatever gaps are left. And that will complete our first pass, and hopefully be able to close next week and close off the budget.
Gary, I've got a thought that has weighed on me a lot over the time that we discussed this past, my good.
I can hear you.
Okay, so that we talked about the budget and we talked about volunteer hours. And we have an extraordinary amount of volunteer hours. Praise the Lord. That is a wonderful place to be. It seems to me, though, that those volunteer hours understate the true cost of operation of that equipment, whatever, whichever piece of equipment that those volunteer hours we're working on. So I'm suggesting that we shadow those hours so that we understand the true costing of the equipment, because we already understand, at least in my experience, from the fire department experience, discussion, we're understating we're buying antiquated equipment, but we're understating the cost of the maintenance of that equipment. And okay, so just throw it out there. What if I took over the fire department? Okay, folks, I don't know shit about a piece of equipment. What if they did, all of a sudden the expense goes astronomical because I'm outsourcing, because I don't have those volunteer hours. So I'm suggesting that if we do not count those volunteer hours that support our equipment, that first of all, we're understanding the true cost of that equipment, but as important, that it would drive us to make decisions about equipment that we would buy in the future. You know, do we want to buy new equipment or newer equipment? And I appreciate the idea that we don't use it much, but we use it hard when we use it. And so I'm putting it out there as it's really weighed on me, because I do believe that it's important that we fully cost what it truly costs us to. We're so lucky we have people that were willing to volunteer, but that might not always be.
I mean, this whole town is a volunteer effort.
Understand, totally, I understand. Our hours are volunteer, but I also believe that if we don't, if that piece of equipment, we charge X amount of money to it, but in true, in the truth, we're spending 40 hours a year additional in volunteer hours, keeping that piece of equipment running, then we are understating the cost of the maintenance of that equipment. And I'll just shut up about it, but that is it's weighed on me. I need to get it out there. And I think that we need to think about it, because we rely on volunteers and we are so thankful for our volunteers. But it may, in the decision-making process,
Sorry, I got called.
in the decision-making process of what a piece of equipment would we buy, would we say, gee, yeah, I think I'd like to buy that piece of equipment because it's under warranty? Or no, I'm going to buy something that's 30 years old and our guys can keep it together. I'm putting it out there because I think it's really critical about how we need to fully cost. And if we don't, and Gail, I totally appreciate that we are that's why everyone here is here for that. But at the end of the day,
Well, do you want to suggest to the fire department that they track the hours they spend?
yeah,
Well, let's tell them to do that.
Yeah, I think it really only applies to the fire department, because the highway department, for instance, yeah, but we pay those people.
There's no volunteers in the highway department. We pay them.
And they don't work on their own equipment, do they?
And we,
What do? They
They do
change the
some
oil,
work.
they take everything down.
would that be
Yes, I think we're very fortunate.
I agree.
That we have.
I do.
Plus the fire department.
I think this is just added bookkeeping. It would be unnecessary.
It would be hard to do, only because so many of us can do most of the stuff. Right now, I'm tearing apart a truck to refit it, so we can get it fit back up again, so we can get back out on the street. But yeah, I don't know, you'd have to run that by the chief.
okay, I think,
You understand?
excuse me,
I understand what you're saying, that I think it's unnecessary.
okay. Okay, let's
Okay.
table it. I think that's something that we should be considering, think about, and I think it's clearly a fire department issue.
So it's pretty much restricted.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think in my sense of thing, I mean, obviously the rec department worries about electronic stuff and those, I mean, we all do those things, but primarily what I think you're addressing is highway, or rather, fire department, and so we should do that specifically, and that might be a good place to start. Want to move forward with the items on the department budget updates here.
Gary, should we
Yes.
just start at the beginning and just go right through everything you had highlighted?
We can, I got the list on the, I'd like to stick with the list from the, from the agenda here. The planning board, spoke with Christine last year. It was difficult to pull it out, but it was about $1,300. So we decided we could put that to $1,500 for legal on the planning board.
Page 3,
So, yeah, page 3. Okay.
1,500, okay.
For the custodial services, I understand that we talked about changing, maybe
Page
finding
4.
replacements. Where do we stand
We're
there?
gonna put it out for bid and see what we get.
Okay,
So as for right now, we're sticking with what we have, but we do not expect the cost to go up. If it does anything, it'll go down.
So we got 10,000 in there now.
Yeah.
okay, okay. Okay, so that one is okay. Town hall painting and repair. The request has been raised to 10,600. There are estimates that I got from Connie today.
That's page 4.
Which page is it?
4, page 4.
You have a copy of that, Gary? Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
Okay, so instead of 4,200, what do we want? She's asking for
You
something.
want 6,000?
well, it's about 10,006 altogether. Because we have the repair work at about 6,000 and we have the painting at
Wait a minute, where's the 6,000 going?
6,000 is for the.
is for the silver.
I know, where are you gonna add it though?
Just under the repair.
It's all in the same
Oh,
line
so
item,
instead of 4,200, we're gonna have
10,006.
the painting will go to 4,600 and then add 6,000 for the repairs.
Yes,
So that'll become 10,600?
correct.
Okay.
Okay, municipal building, we've kicked this one around a couple of times. Do we have anything definitive?
Which one?
The municipal building repair?
No, I don't think there's anything we can put off until next year. Ken, is there anything critical over there?
Well, we've been putting it off for years
Yeah, I
now.
Yes,
We did have a quote a year ago for $5,000 for that building. To replace all of the wood.
Yeah.
right.
But I have not been able to get him to get us a quote again for this year. Wanted him to get us a new quote, to reflect the.
Is this Greg Ellis you're talking about?
Yes,
Okay, we got $5,000 in there. Is that enough?
I don't know,
Do we not need anything? I mean,
no, it's not that we don't need it, yeah, we can push it off again, and we can push it off again, and we can push it off again, but that doesn't.
I don't think pushing it down, kicking it down the road is a good idea.
I think if we add 10% to that 5,000, I think we'd be okay. It should at least get most of it done.
Mhm.
But I wanted him to requote it because of materials and everything else has just gone
Okay.
insane.
Yes,
They're starting to come back down, but
so your suggestion is 5,500?
yes,
Okay,
I'm fine with it.
and the next line item is the town hall, and that's at 10,600. Okay. This flagpole has been kicked around for a couple of years. What's,
I got quotes
What's
on
the
the
latest?
flagpole itself is $11,200 and something, so 11,300 is the flagpole itself. And I'm waiting for a quote for installation, which I would imagine would be somewhere between $2,000 to $3,000.
How tall is that? Like
50 foot.
50?
Should we consider a shorter one? Would that make a difference?
No. Well, if price wise, it wouldn't make that big a difference.
Uh-huh.
And you still have to install, so the install price is the same.
Should this be a warrant article?
It's just gonna have, if this is over 10,000.
It is, yeah, now we're talking 13, 12, 13, 13, $14,000.
Yeah, that was, nobody's anywhere near that right now for a flagpole. And I did, because it was like 8,000 something, and it was 11,000 for the internal. So I opted for the internal one myself, just so we don't have the lines hanging from the side of
Yeah,
the
oh,
pole.
yeah, I mean,
It just looks nicer, and if we're gonna do it.
if we're gonna put this kind of money into it, I think we should do it right, because it'll be a long-term solution.
So is this a warrant article then?
I think that's where we
I
are.
think it should be.
Yeah, well, it needs to be, it's over.
All right, warrant article.
Yeah.
I don't see any problem getting it passed.
I was lectured
Could be
at
wrong,
length by Peggy yesterday about this.
could be wrong.
You cannot have endured the lectures that I have been getting, we started talking about.
Okay, so the select board will put together a warrant article for this.
Okay, and we anticipate that it would be something close to $15,000, huh?
Boy. Okay,
Which line item was that here that we had? Other property miscellaneous, is that, so that 9,000 comes out of there?
It's not 15.
Or was there something else?
where did we have
There's
it?
9,000.
Did we have it at, what did we?
Other property miscellaneous, we had
Okay.
the flagpole, we've been waiting for it, was it 9,000 as a placeholder?
Oh, yeah, I see
We're
it.
now up to 15,000.
Okay,
So I'm gonna
so,
take the
warrant.
9 out of the budget and pass it over to the CIP. Are we in agreement?
Okay,
I don't think we had anything else in that line.
I don't.
no, I don't think so either.
So,
It's fine with me.
okay. Um,
Okay,
the police, I talked with, wait, I jumped here. We're at Municipal Furniture. We talked about drawers and cabinets, and where are we?
We are basically arguing about it. The office staff wants to rebuild the existing particle board one, which the rest of us are not in favor of. We want to replace them with metal, but the costs are comparable. What did we put down? I can't even read.
We had $2 grand, 2,000.
That should be fine. Just leave it at that.
okay, let's see where.
Okay,
Uh,
that's the last line.
Last line,
Building.
okay, 2,000, okay.
Okay,
Okay,
I think
I was
we're-
back
We're
on.
we're
back.
coming back. Okay,
Was that that one?
yeah,
Transfer switch.
okay, TEEC.
they
go on.
are, they won't respond. They spent 250, which I think is for their own website. We have them in the budget now at 500. I can't get any answer out of any of them.
300
What line is this? It's under
under government, I
page
think.
5. Oh, yeah,
TEEC,
yeah, they're actually called the Renewable Energy Committee now or something like that.
I'm fine with 300, even 250.
So
Whichever.
300 sounds good.
250, is that what we're doing?
300,
300.
300?
yeah.
Okay,
I don't know if it's a website, maybe it's gonna go up, but.
I think Rob had said, this is Rob's group, right? I think
Yeah.
he had said that it was for mailing, that they're planning on doing some sort of a mailing about
No.
what they're proposing or
Oh,
something.
okay,
I think that's what I recall when we talked.
300.
Yeah.
covers it.
because I mean, they've got big ideas with that solar array,
Yes, they.
and we can't get anything out of them on that either, can we?
Yeah, they have some thoughts. I mean, again, they haven't given you any numbers because they're not ready to provide numbers.
Okay, okay,
It's a big project.
It'd have to be a warrant article.
Yeah, oh, well, absolutely, yeah. No, it's a big project and when you'll recall, I went to their meeting once and chatted with them just to make them aware of the CIP process. and whatnot. They've got two different sort of flavors of the project they're looking at. One is a 500 kilowatt, and there's a 10,000 kilowatt or so. So they've got a couple of different, scales that they're looking at. Yeah, these are both substantial
Yeah.
projects.
Okay, so 300 at.
300, okay,
Police surplus, I spoke with them today. They assured me they would have a number for me. just before our next meeting next week.
Haven't we heard this before?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I think that's optimistic, but at November, I think we had a number around 58,000. So if that's out of 11 months, we're, we ought to have 50,000 or something in there. So I don't have any idea. Still on hold then. Rob reported that he had been in touch with Connolly about the forestry requirements, and that was going to be, I think, 200. Let me see where.
What page is that on?
Emergency management is the,
Page 6 at the top. Emergency management.
that's the one. Okay, so the last two there is forest fire supplies. He got 200 and still having trouble getting a hold of Bill for the emergency management, but we really pumped that last year because of the COVID issues. And I think it's time to bring it back down to 500 if we don't get any further direction for
For
that.
the fire wardens, part, if you could add $500, $600.
600 is for the forest payroll of forest fire.
Right, but if you could add $600, he needs to have a radio installed in his truck. And he was supposed to talk to you about that,
That's forest under supplies.
under whatever you want to put it under, it doesn't.
Well, that would be forest fire supplies, I think. And
Who's the he you're talking about?
Mike Connolly,
like,
Oh,
and
he right now is the only officer by himself that does not have a
radio.
radio in his truck, in his personal car.
okay. Rob said he talked to him and got 200, so
Way more than 200. Because they have to reprogram the radio. and
I don't know if it was that particular item, but
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
so,
because 200 would be his normal stuff.
yes. So
And
we
that goes
think
to
it's-
payroll for all the permits and mileage and
Yeah.
what have you.
So it's plus 600, I
About
think.
600, so he can get his radio installed.
So,
And he was supposed to, I sent him your email address and everything, because he was supposed to get a hold of you for that.
I've not heard from him.
so this is forest fire supplies we're gonna put on
Yes.
that line?
Yeah.
So that pushes to 800.
800, okay.
Okay.
Okay,
So the
Okay.
emergency management one, you want to drop that, you said? You've got it at 500.
No, we'll just leave that.
Leave it
I'm
at
gonna say.
5.
I say we pushed it up to 2,500 last year, but I think 5 is. It ain't over yet, but I think there needs to be something there. And if people are okay with 500. Okay. Town vehicles.
I think we're,
I guess we guessed kind of wild last time and lost 2-1 on diesel fuel. What do you think, Tim?
I think the 10 and 22 should be safe.
10
Okay,
to 22, okay.
okay. I think gasoline is going up in usage for gallons, but maybe not, the price is going to start to moderate a little bit, and so I think we'll be okay.
Okay,
Facilities repair for highway. We talked about the door, I think, right? Is there something else?
is this the door we're talking about?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. Okay, we're talking now about a warrant article for that one.
Yeah. for
Okay.
sure.
I talked to Ken today. He thought 2,000 for. So, Ken, were you supposed to get an estimate for him?
Yes, I'm still working on it. I'm waiting for a beam calculation from Beltaze.
Okay, because when I asked him, I said, "Will 2,000 cover it?" He said, "Yes." He thought so. So is that would make a warrant article for
$2,000 to cover
just the knocking out the walls
Widening
and
it out.
for the concrete work.
the concrete.
Yeah. And then you have to build a new header. You have to open up the side of the building. That's gonna be another 3 or 4 grand. And then you need the door.
We got the door already.
So 5 and 11.
The door is like
9,
9 or 10, 9.
yeah, I've got a quote here.
So this is a big project now.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's gonna be over 10,000. It's gotta go.
Well, it's gonna be like 15.
Yeah. So,
Huh. So we're gonna really do this, I guess?
probably half of that could be salvaged if we move it.
Only the door.
The door.
The door itself.
The door itself.
It's like a good chunk.
And all the hardware and.
Yeah.
motor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
motors, et cetera, yeah,
All right, so highway department is gonna have to do a warrant article for that.
yeah.
And
say it again.
highway department will have to do the warrant article, so we're not gonna.
Well, we'll have to write it. Yeah, well, CIP will have to write it for them.
Are you suggesting, I'm sorry, I want to understand for CFP, are you suggesting splitting that so part of it goes under a warrant article and part of it stays in the budget?
No,
Okay.
no, put the whole thing in a warrant.
Right, all as one single request.
Yes,
Don't you
And
think
it's gonna
so?
be on the order of, yeah,
yeah, I mean, that kind of makes sense to me.
yeah, well, I think you have to, because part of it gets approved and part of it doesn't, then you can't.
Yeah, right.
but there's part of it though, that's gonna be a permanent fixture, and there's part of it that potentially could move to a new location.
Right,
If the town decides to do that.
Yeah.
right.
So I think it's important that we break that out, because there's a sunk cost in investing in this facility that is a sunk cost.
Yeah,
And that needs to be weighed against the cost of moving.
I would suggest that the whole thing be considered a sunk cost, because who knows what lies in the.
Yeah, and,
You don't know what's gonna happen.
and it's not a matter of wasting money by doing it now, we have to do it now,
Yeah.
so. And
'Cause he can't-
and there's no other,
you can't get it shut down.
so, okay,
Okay,
recycle.
The trucks got bigger.
I got, yeah, we need a reducer for the trucks, that's what we need. Okay, recycle,
anything new on that?
yeah, they took some computations based on, population and re-spread it all out, and our cost went down, our allocation went down $2. However, there is some discussion that they may be looking to take money out of their revolving fund, which is pretty enormous. I don't remember what it was, but a lot of money, a couple 100,000 certainly. And so they're talking about using that revolving fund to offset some of the operating costs. And I've been assured that we'll hear from that soon.
So I will point out, because people have been complaining to me about this, yes, we're paying all this money, yet now when you go to the dump, you've got to pay and pay
Oh,
and
yeah.
pay additional out of your own pocket.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I can't go down there now and put something in the dumpster without paying $5.
Yeah, minimum.
Yeah,
Well,
So there's nothing we directly can do about that other than
no,
not use them, but.
nobody's buying any of
Yeah,
that
that's the
stuff. I
problem.
mean, people aren't buying
The
the
market
aluminum
is-
cans, people aren't buying the cardboard.
well, you know, I've heard,
Everybody in town know where to get, to get in the dumpster. You just fill the dumpster and they come take it away.
Yeah, we have our own town. You know,
Transfer,
big roll off dumpster.
transfer state,
Yeah.
well, that's,
You don't have to worry about it.
that's an
Maybe we should
option, I
look into
guess.
that at some
And,
point.
so you don't have a bottom number?
I got 80,000
478.
487. But
Okay, so leave that for now, okay.
Yeah. But we'll wait another couple of weeks on that before that gets buttoned. The rec department, I just spoke with them on their way out, and that $550, which we discussed for training of revolving fund usage. She still doesn't have a there's no action, there's no completion on that. What has been suggested is that she will ask the person giving it if that money can be taken out of the revolving fund.
Oh, here's recreation.
So if that happens, that's $550 out of budget.
So you say we're keeping it at 2,500, what are we doing?
Yes, right where it is.
Okay.
And not making that addition, but we
Okay.
gotta stay open because
Okay,
you may have to be flexible.
okay,
The library repair stuff, I don't know where we are on that. Rob didn't give me an update.
library,
And
page 8, library.
We had a meeting with them last night.
Okay.
And Bill, do you remember what the number you came in with for a pen?
6,600, isn't it?
Yeah, 6,100, 6,700, yeah. Call it 7,000, they want for a fence.
You were gonna come in.
Yes, she was.
What is the fence for?
It's to go around this area between the library and the highway garage. Because the concern is there are little kids that play out
child
here
containment.
to keep, child containment, keep them coming out from the dump truck.
Yeah, it's mostly for their events,
Yeah,
is what it's basically for. Because when they have events and they have a lot of kids, they want to be able to control them
keep
running
it
out
in the
into
area.
the parking lot.
and they had wanted us to take it out of our ARPA fund balance, but everybody wants money out of the ARPA fund balance. And we've got to start really prioritizing at this point.
Yeah.
We just approved, the well on the common, and that's coming out of the ARPA fund.
So one of the things that we talked about at the last budget meeting when we met with the library was the question about this fund that they
That they
had.
have. and how
That
much
there
money
was
is
some
in-
question as to A, what the balance was, and B, whether or not there was a covenant so they could only use it for certain
Right.
things.
Hmm.
I don't know if it sounds like no one's been able to get an answer to that.
Well, Peggy was part of the women's group that gave them the 11,000 originally, and she thinks that there were no restrictions. Now, does Peggy remember? I don't know. 11,000 10 years ago could be 20,000 now.
Who's managing that fund? Do you know?
They have a treasurer. It's in PDIP.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
it's not doubled.
No, it's not dormant, yeah.
So doubled, I say, that's.
Their treasurer should have those papers is the problem.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about their furnace, we have said, well, is it useful to have that 20,000 available in case the furnace goes?
Right.
Versus the fence.
Okay.
You know,
And who is our treasurer?
say it again.
Who's the treasurer?
Wait a minute, I know what it is. Who's got a book?
Well, it's not that important.
Yeah,
I
I can think what she looks like. I can't think of her name.
So this is one of the trustees, in other words, who's.
They have an official treasurer.
Official.
They do have a treasurer.
Okay. Right, yeah, I forgot about the furnace point was a good one, because that way that money could be.
Yeah, then that way we don't have it in our CIP
Yeah,
plan so
yeah.
much to worry about it. But they ought to give us more information, truly.
Yeah.
We asked them too, when it began, if they could possibly have monies from leftover from last year to put towards it, so that we could work it out between the 2 years, but they said they didn't have any money from the previous budget.
When we met with them, they were down to what they had, they were almost through their budget, I
Yeah.
think, yeah, so.
Well, we don't normally let a committee roll their money
Doesn't carry
over.
forward over to.
Well, you
Yeah.
can't, right, you can't do that.
You can't do
When-
that.
No, but they could have written a deposit for the fence, and then we could have done the rest of it on
Oh,
funds or
Yeah.
put it in their budget or whatever. It didn't work that way.
No, I don't think they.
According to their budget, they went over their budget last year,
yeah.
And I don't doubt that at all.
$500.
Yeah.
What kind of fence are they talking?
It's, that was basically it's poly fence of some kind.
Poly white.
Yeah, kind of
Poly picket.
Tickets or something.
You just gotta be careful when they start putting things in the ground out there. Well, the gas line,
Oh, that's right.
Oh, no.
and it's
Gas line,
just a copper
phone
gas
line,
line,
water line,
so
yeah.
they put a fence post right through it.
Well, we do that one.
Yeah, they say.
Yeah, that's called Big Safe.
Don't smoke and drill.
Now, Big Safe won't even have it in their records.
No, I just had it done when I had the fiber put in. What they do is you actually, DigSafe won't cover propane. So you have to call your propane dealer, whoever that is. And what I found out is in my case, there wasn't a tracer or it was worn or whatever. They couldn't find it. So depending on how old it is, it could be.
Well, I can mark it out.
Oh, okay.
Easily.
Oh, you know where it is.
I know where it is,
Great.
but I just, somebody's got to tell me, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay. There's phone lines out there too. I mean. I don't
There's
think-
water lines, phone lines, electric lines from the generator.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, do we want to put the fence in as a warrant article?
I don't know.
What kind of money?
$7,000.
What kind of money?
I mean, let people vote on it.
Yeah, just so you're clear,
No,
you can,
$1,000, it's a safety concern and we.
Yeah, it is a
I
safety
mean, as far as
concern.
I'm concerned, we should, that's pretty much a no-brainer.
I'm sure Primex would encourage us to do it.
Well, we have in the past distinguished between operating expenses and capital expenses. The fence will be a capital expense, which you shouldn't put in your budget.
yeah, there's nothing, by the way, magical about the 10,000 limit in terms of, you can have a warrant article for $300.
Yes,
So, you
Yeah.
know, any amount at all.
Yeah.
The issue is, again, as Gail said, you know, it often is a way to differentiate capital expenses and investments from.
Well, I think we've got to ask them to really identify how much money they have and what their plans are
Yes.
for it. We're gonna talk to
I
them.
think we're all in agreement there. I think Rob is the designated person on that group, so I'm not sure if that's.
Maybe we should ask Andy to take it over because he has experience with libraries.
I have to, yeah, right.
You were once on a library.
He has a book, he has a card, right?
I was chair of the library of trustees in Francis. When we did a major renovation. Yeah, I gotta get over there to look at the furnace anyway, to try to figure out how old it is, so. I can ask them again. I think, again, the key is the treasurer. I think we need to
Yeah.
find out about that fund and see, maybe there's not much there, who knows, you know?
No, there is there. Peter Allen told me. He knows, he has the papers
Okay,
because they have to turn it into the auditors every year for the town.
got it, okay.
Yeah, and when I asked him, the last ones he could put it on his fingers on was 2020. And then it was 20,000, so it's probably more than that now. I mean, this is a known,
$20,000 for a heater?
I'm sorry,
That's what's in their fund.
$20,000 for a
No,
heater?
no, that's what's in-
no,
We're talking about the fund that they had, the funds that they have.
Oh,
Yes.
they have a PDIP account.
Yeah, I was in there last night. It was 80 degrees and the heat was.
Well, it is, and again, Mike Card came in, you know, Card Heating came in and looked at it in end of the summer to early fall. He gave it, you know, a bill of good health, but you know, it's aging. I mean,
Yeah.
again, you know, relevant to the CIP, we're trying to look ahead. We're trying to say, right, not this year, but is it gonna be 2 years from now, 3 years from now?
We
That's
just,
what we're
we
looking.
just had an issue over there too, where the regulator froze. So of course the heat didn't turn on. So they had to come out and get that going. So once we got that going, it was fine, it fired right up and
Yeah.
went.
Yeah.
But they were also supposed to call the supplier and have them come out and change that regulator.
Oh, as it grows.
Once it agreed, they never stopped.
Gary, we have alarms that's.
To my experience.
But wherever you want to talk about that, we can talk about that.
Warrant issues. Well,
Because that's what you're really worried about.
Put that down to new
ARPA money.
business.
Okay.
Okay, so is Andy gonna volunteer to talk to the library?
I will. What exactly do we want to ask?
Well, what are their, how much money do they have in PDIP and what do they have plans for?
And what are their
And
restrictions?
what, yeah, are there
for spending
restrictions?
it?
Um,
And why should that capital investment come out of the budget?
Right, either comes out of their PDIP funds or a warrant article.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
okay.
Okay. And I have one last item that I added, and that's, I made a executive decision here. The assessing services, which is on page 3, is at I found that there's a whole lot of items that the assessors have their hands into that, there's a monthly bill, there's they check on somebody's polls or something. I don't know what the hell that does, but there's a lot of different little things, including the software for the tax people and for the clerk. And so I put all of those into the assessor line item, which is
What page?
page 3.
Assessing and auditing, page 3.
So I accumulated all those costs and the new costs, and that's at $14,201.
Okay,
And it just seems to me that that's a better way to do it than to have the software
Yeah.
someplace else and those kinds of things. So if
So you're-
everybody's in agreement, we'll
yeah.
use that technique going
I
forward.
agree, that's much more, better information to have it
Yeah.
localized.
So, well, wait a minute, if they go to the Tax Connect thing, that's a town clerk item.
Right, but there's an assessing software that
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Carol uses.
Okay, never mind. Okay,
It just, there's all these little pieces that are laying all over the
Okay,
place
all right,
that
okay.
we pay for, and we
Okay.
have it before
Okay.
putting them under software.
So
which-
for the minutes, I'm gonna let you write that piece.
Okay.
What was
Okay.
the number running here?
What's that?
What was the number you had for that?
14,200.
14,000.
$201 is what I got. So that's from the roll up. Okay. So we made a few adjustments here, but essentially total operating looks like we're in pretty reasonable shape. We're at last year's budget was about 1.3.
Well, you've got some things we haven't gone through yet.
Yeah,
Right.
Okay.
We haven't. But these are the ones that we're still
Okay,
making
okay.
adjustments for. So I just
Okay.
wanted to make sure everybody's kind of targeting on where we are and what's happening here.
also, I don't know where you pick new business, maybe I want to revisit legal expenses.
Okay. Okay.
Gary, did you see a difference since we dropped we raised the expense to 10,000, right? So did you see a change where we took things out of the expense and threw them into CIP budget? Did you see a change at all?
No.
No.
No, we talked about that when we raised the CIP, that in fact, there didn't seem to be any requests below that, other than this library fence thing that just popped up.
Well,
Uh-huh.
But no, we didn't.
yeah, I mean, there's some highway things, but that's nothing that really impacts here. Okay. I think I think I'll just take the numbers we have and roll it up and give the final numbers. I don't want to do the arithmetic right here that for what we just talked about, but that's easy enough to roll. And some up and some down, and we still got some variables out there. For new business, the one item that I have is that our bookkeeper has found work elsewhere and no longer desires to be the bookkeeper in Temple, but is going to stick around to do training and those kinds of things. It's been an important resource, and I don't know where we're going to find somebody else. I think
We're searching. We have one candidate. We had, one was the assistant treasurer. She does not want to do it.
Mhm.
She would have had to leave her
Yeah.
assistant treasurer position. The other is Kara Nichols, who's Vivian Nichols' daughter. And she does professional bookkeeping. She does a lot of bookkeeping consulting work. Is familiar with all of our Quicken and all that kind of.
Well, that sounds good.
So yes, she's a
Right.
good candidate. Sherry Fiske said that someone that she talked to might be contacting us. We have at least one,
Okay.
so I don't think we're gonna have a problem
Super.
filling it.
Yeah, because I think it's really important to manage that transition. Whatever system we're using, it's really become our own in a lot of ways, and that's knowledge that needs to be transferred. So,
Well, Gary, we still got some dangling items here in this budget.
okay.
Legal, did you want to change the legal?
We're not done yet. It's
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
list.
yeah, that's on the list here.
Oh, new business?
Okay, the alarm.
So we discovered when the office equipment was upgraded to new computers that the alarm system is so old that the software for it will not run under Windows 11.
Of course.
Okay, so our IT guy says maybe he'll salvage one of the old PCs
Just to run.
just to run it for now, but this is getting more and more urgent. We're probably going to have to replace the alarm system at the municipal building and here, library, fire department, sometime relatively soon. This would probably be a CIP thing, because it's going to be a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like how much a lot of money?
Could be 10,000, could be more than 10,000. It could be who knows what.
So
Maybe
you're-
a ring system or something like.
It'd be nice, but it doesn't. The problem with this building is there are fire code restrictions, and you've got to have.
We need to have a hardwired system.
Yep,
So you're thinking of ARPA money for this though, aren't you?
not necessarily,
Oh,
no.
okay. I thought we were talking about
No, we're
40 to,
kicking it around.
there's no, the estimates I heard were like 40 to 50,000. Is that unreal?
I think that's way too high.
Okay.
We're not putting in a bank security system here.
Okay,
Well, to replace the, so they need to put a new controller in to work with the new software. That was $2,000 just for the controller. So I would think we could be in the 10 to 20,000 range easily.
Then you have to think that all of our smoke detectors and
Oh,
heat
they tie into
detectors
those things, yep.
that are good for 10 years and we've gotten 40 years out of them. It's probably time to change all those as well.
I just went through that at home. So,
Yeah. So I think this is definitely something the CIP needs to worry about. We're gonna need to budget some significant money over the next few years to get this stuff.
so you won't have an article this year
How should
for
we-
it?
Okay. How should we think about phasing that in? I think that's a CIP question that,
Yeah.
do we want to do it one building at a time or?
Well, I'm working to
These
get
two
some
buildings
estimates
have to
and as
go
soon as
to-
I can get a hold of these people to get them out here. I can get an estimate relatively quick. I've also reminded Brian from Monadnock that he needs to get off his butt too, because we told him this months ago.
Yeah.
And he still hasn't given us a quote to rough these three systems.
Yeah, I talked to him twice also, and just nothing's coming back from them.
Yeah. So, we'll see what the other guys come in at, and if we can get it in before, warrants have to be done, then we'll push.
Okay, well,
Okay,
I suspect it's not gonna happen this year, but
yeah,
it could.
we've only got,
Yeah.
4 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever.
Yeah.
February.
Well, what we have is working.
For now, well,
The alarm system is working, but the problem is we can't add,
Right.
like we used to add people to the fire department and take people out of there. We can't do that now with,
I just
the
didn't
new
want something
computer
on the
system.
market.
yeah.
If that's
that
the
whole
case,
thing doesn't
we
work
gotta
anymore.
do.
but it could stop working anytime. The thing is ancient.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that probably should be done this year.
If we could, it would not be
Yeah.
anything.
The best.
If you look in the closet over there where the alarm system is a rat's nest.
Yeah, I
Well,
know.
that's what they
I
are.
remember when they put it in.
what's your deadline on spending the ARPA money? Do you know? It's coming up. isn't it? I mean, you don't have
late
it,
this year or early next year. I don't remember the exact date offhand.
because that could be a backup for you.
Again, there are a number of demands on the ARPA funds
Yeah,
that are piled up, so we're gonna have to sort through that soon.
What do you think it would, I mean, I think the municipal building is the priority.
Yeah, that would be the first.
So just a wild guess, what do we think that might cost?
I have no idea.
I bet that you could spend 10 grand on
11,000?
that one building
Yeah,
easy.
I would think so.
Okay, then why don't we put together a warrant article for $10,000,
Okay,
put that on the agenda,
okay.
and by the time March rolls around,
You can amend it.
We can amend it on the floor.
we can amend it from the floor and correct it. I mean, I hate to have something like this.
You can't raise the amount on the floor, can you?
I think, no, I don't think you
I
can.
think you can
Oh.
rewrite,
No, you're
pretty much
you're
No,
right.
you can't change the purpose, but you
Yeah.
can change.
Right.
the
Yeah,
amount.
you can't change the intent, but you can change the dollar figure.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
We went through this last year.
And then we do get it in as warrant articles.
Yeah, who's gonna do that warrant article?
I mean, I don't like to spend the money, but I think that this is an area that we really have to.
So you're saying it's 10,000 just for the municipal building?
Yeah, we have no idea. We're gonna put that in basically as a placeholder.
Okay,
And
And I think once we know how much the cost is, then you can figure out how much of it you can get done, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
multiple buildings.
Yeah, because also we have to figure out if Monadnock's gonna do it, who's always in my world higher than everybody else. The monitoring is also high. So if we go with somebody else, chances are we're gonna get a better deal and a better monitoring, but we won't have Monadnock anymore.
Ken, are you married to the monitor based on the choice of the contractor that you go with? In other words, is
No.
the service separate from the install or?
Yes, I mean, you can pick your own, but the smart money is whoever installs it, gets to monitor it, because
Because they put it
if
in,
they're gonna have any problems, they wanna come and fix it. Otherwise, they're gonna say,
say, point fingers and, yeah,
it's not us, it's them.
yeah,
Well, somebody's gotta come in and reconfigure it with a new.
sure.
Yeah, I'm not tied to an knock myself, so. Who's writing this warrant article?
who's what?
Writing the warrant article?
Well, I've been trying to write a few, but I'm confused about whether we're doing 10,000 for just the municipal building?
No, I would suggest, we can discuss this in our meeting.
Okay,
I'm happy to write the article once we figure out what we want to
yeah,
say.
Yeah, I think it would be for the replacement of the alarm system. I don't think you have to indicate any particular facility or whatever.
Somebody
We
say,
don't
we have an
know.
alarm system, and they're gonna say, how come you didn't replace this? And we'll have to say,
well,
I don't know, we'll come up with something.
Well, if my plan goes correct, then we'll have a plan for the whole
Right,
number,
right.
which will cover all 4 buildings.
Yep, that'd be great if we can get it.
Ideally.
And then, if it doesn't work out, then we'll have at least that one. We can piece this one and piece the other ones at a later date.
yeah, I think these definitely need to be in a package.
Yeah,
So
they're
they're currently
packaged now.
configured.
Yeah.
But the municipal building, to me, seems to be a priority. That's just my.
It's certainly where all the critical records and such are.
We're responsible for all those records.
Yeah, and if we believe, for example, that we won't be able to do all buildings, it could be for funding phase 1
Sure.
of the.
Yeah. Yeah.
Arm.
okay.
All right, I'll think of some wording and I'll send you some, you think of some. and-
Yeah, we're having another meeting next week just to really firm up CIP. Can we try to get something
Sure.
by then?
Yeah,
Okay.
All right, and we have a item for legal.
so I'm getting concerned. What did we budget for
Oh,
this year? I don't remember offhand.
30, I think, didn't we? Legal.
Well, we broke it down into 3 groups.
Yep.
Somebody find the page.
Page 3,
Page 3.
right in the middle.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Page 3.
We have 15 for town attorney, 16 for zoning board.
And 1,500 for,
1,500 for planning board.
Now, how did we get zoning up 16?
Yeah, I don't know.
How did that get so high?
I understand that Christine is talking pretty regularly to their own council that.
Yeah, no, that's,
no,
That's
this
planning
is for CBA.
Yeah, well, Christine's spending, I bet she's spending a lot more than 1,500.
I think,
So-
CPA, I don't know why it's at 16.
okay,
We have many big cases coming up.
yeah, why is it 16 now?
because we have $14,000.
Oh, is that what we're putting in there?
Back.
I thought we were gonna put that up
Oh,
at,
yes, you were correct. You were correct. There is a 99% chance we are going to have to refund money to Ben for the legal fees he was charged.
why isn't that being, I thought we were gonna cover that under contingency for the select board. 'Cause
Well,
that's not a legal expense, that's something else.
all right, actually, what, talk to,
This is why it is at 16.
okay,
Oh, okay,
what I was told.
So it would normally be
who did
two?
I talk to about this. Either Melanson Heath or our accountant, I mean, either our auditors or our accountant. I mentioned this in passing and they said it was a refund of excess payment. Basically, it would just come out of general revenues, but I don't know what that actually means.
Well, it has to come out of general fund,
Yeah.
because when we took it, we put it in general
Right,
fund.
so it's gonna have to come back out of the general fund. How do you want to track that? I don't,
I think it ought to be the contingency for the board up there.
okay, put it wherever you want, but
Okay,
anticipate we might have to pay back as much as 14,000.
I think that's a good place to put it. But don't just go spending it willy-nilly.
Well, I'm concerned, now that you guys are talking about this, you're only giving the board 15,000 in legal fees for the year?
Yeah, that's my concern.
Okay,
No, no, that's
we
not
have
what
a
that is.
trial coming up,
That is,
No, your legal expenses are 15.
15,
right, exactly,
15,000.
for the entire
We
year.
have a trial this year.
Yes, we just talked to legal counsel. We have a trial coming up next month. There's going to be pre-trial motions, pre-trial conferences, 2 to 3 days of trial, and then you can bet on appeals and et cetera, et cetera.
So there goes your 15,000 plus.
Right there, yeah.
And then
So,
what do we do for the rest of the year? We just
So
hide.
what
tell me a
what
number,
are you suggesting it should be?
tell me a number.
It's a crapshoot as usual, but I think 15 is too low. I would say 25.
25, okay.
Now, if the case gets appealed, the town's not gonna appeal it, but
Yeah.
one or two other parties probably will. The town at that point can basically bow out, and say, hey, we're done here.
Yeah.
You guys are appealing, not us. But there will still be some legal fees involved as we get
Yeah.
deposed and dragged into court, who knows what.
Okay.
And yes, I have to be on the stand for this.
Okay,
Well, it would take more than a year anyway. That would be.
Yeah, it's gonna drag on for years.
I would think out of that, you might want to take your mileage while you're going back and forth.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
so
So instead of,
CBA will knock
two.
back to 2,000.
Yeah. And you're gonna add that to contingency, is that where it's?
yeah,
And put 14 under contingency for the select. board.
14,000.
Yes,
What did we have last year for?
38,000 in legal.
Oh, good.
And how much was budget, how much was budgeted?
No,
26?
yeah, less.
Yeah,
Yeah.
26 to 38, so.
25,
10,
31.
12,000 over. I'm still scared with that number.
Okay. We have it on the,
I'm just saying,
we see,
one thing,
yeah,
and we want to try and do, zoning enforcement and,
yeah.
traffic enforcement and, you know, we're gonna pound ourselves into a corner.
Yeah, our legal fees really are going up, 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 up. We've got this new historic barn stuff that we need legal counsel for. Because we really don't know how to do it. We don't have ordinances for it. There needs to be zoning changes for that. So pick a number, but it needs to be bigger than what it is.
Well,
Why don't we talk to our
25.
legal counsel and ask them what they anticipate? They know what our issues are.
It depends on how, you know, what the other lawyers do in the cases. What other cases come.
A much better idea
They
than
already
you
have.
right now, Bill.
They have said a lot. That is what their estimate was, a lot.
Listen, you need to be talking to new counsel.
We will be-
Jesus.
These guys have actually been pretty good.
Yeah. I think that this has cost the town a lot more money than it should have,
Yeah, that's right.
and we're not gonna go into line.
I think it should be 30,000.
Instead of 25.
That's a gross
You
underestimation.
don't have to spend 30.
Right,
No, I mean, if we don't need it, we don't need it, but
yeah.
All right.
we're gonna end up, we went over last year, we're gonna end up going over this year. I can see it coming, doesn't matter what number we put there, so
Yeah, and we have no idea what else is gonna come up this year.
I would just like to be close to,
Yeah.
I'd rather give 20,000 back than
Not have,
20,000 over.
yeah,
well, you can't go over on the total budget.
That's right.
So,
Right.
Well, on the total budget, no, but then we're taking from everybody else, and putting it all towards legal.
So why aren't we talking to our legal counsel to get their input? They are our legal advice.
we talk to our council, this board does not.
How are they supposed to anticipate what's gonna come walking through the door next week?
We know what they charge per hour. We know on average what we spend. A new case could come in any day.
okay, what are the hours, by the way? Are we talking 300, numbers?
So the dollars per hour,
Yeah,
depends on which one of the, they're now
120.
three of them involved. 300 to 350, I think, depending which one.
so,
does it.
So we're putting 30,000 instead of 25.
Yeah,
yeah, so,
All right. So that'll give us 30, 15 and 2. Okay. And other legal.
so that's 100 hours.
Okay. What else is dangling, Gary? Do we know?
I think that's about it.
You all accepted a bid on
What's been
the
mentioned?
town report, did you?
Yes, yeah, yeah,
Do we know it?
I updated that.
Yeah.
$100 more than last year,
Okay,
31 or 32.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
I think that was all you had highlighted. I think
Okay.
we covered everything you had highlighted.
and I think those were the only ones that I changed from
Okay.
the last.
Okay,
So
okay.
I think that completes the preliminary pass. And I'm glad to see that we pushed some over into warrant articles. Because I think that's where a couple of those things belong. You know, certainly the flagpole has ratcheted up over the years to.
that's one problem, let's continue to delay
It
things.
warrants a warrant article. No, so. And the facilities thing that we've taken out of budget, so. Okay, anything else we need to look at here before we close out?
I got nothing.
I will talk to the library before our meeting on the.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Yeah, okay. Okay.
Anything, Tim?
No.
No, I don't think so, like,
Yeah.
Okay. George, you got anything?
Well,
we're trying to get Greg to do the windows here, so if he's. And we move the.
So none of this comes out. We'll deal with that next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
While we get on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Want to give up an easy job, you do it in time and.
Yeah.
Nobody watching you.
okay, and what I understand from highway, yeah, what I understand from highway, from the note that you gave me is that the plan is to put all of the money into a warrant article as we did last year.
No, they're gonna pave next year. Aren't they planning to actually use last year's money to pave?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, but if we, in order to balance the CIP, we will put money into the asphalt and paving.
So we'll have a warrant article this year to.
When did you get?
Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
yeah. So because we want to hit our target value so that we
Okay,
maintain
okay.
even.
So we gotta figure that out. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so for the following year, we'll have what we need for.
Yeah,
Okay,
so.
okay. So all right, so next week is a big meeting then. We'll have the total on the budget and line up all the warrant articles.
There's a few more things here too, I think, than we were anticipating.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there all in favor of adjourning at 8:10? Say aye.
You can see what.
Thank you all.
I am now ending the meeting.
It's bigger, this